All right, AJT Jungle. For my 2 or 3 fans out there on YouTube that keep asking me to do a recap or to start my recaps, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Do one. I've got time right now, so I'm gonna do one real quick, and should make my handful of YouTube fans happy. The first, I guess, well, since CRWD is up here, this will be the first one. Now, obviously, everybody probably knows by now, CRWD, they had a big outage, affected people across the world. Obviously, panic, and this is what I thought was panic selling. And I wasn't awake at 5:30 to try to catch the bounce on this. But by the time I came in, I was like, hey, if it, starts to sell off at the open, I'm going to jump in, look at taking some profit here around the 200, and then, see how far it could go. But it came down a little bit, kind of stalled out, so I went ahead and took profit and then took the rest off at break even because it started to bounce. So I didn't just jump in here. I waited until we got over the 100 period moving average and this pre-market pivot here. You could see how strong it was. It kind of tried to take it out twice. So I waited. I got in, and I was trying to give it a little bit too much room to take profit up here. And so it didn't, I didn't take profit, and it pulled back, and I had to withstand the pullback. Now, if this thing technically broke down, then yeah, I would have bailed out of it. But technically, this was still in play. We had a rising 20. Everything else was rising. The 9 kind of flattened out, but it didn't really roll over. So technically, this thing was still in play. But what I did was this time, I put my target right inside this daily pivot here, and ended up getting some profit here. And now we're just waiting, and maybe I've got some big expectations. I don't think they're unrealistic. I honestly believe this thing can get to 320, maybe even to the top of the gap down. But you could see volume kind of fell off, and we had a little, pick up here, which is when we ran back up to the level. I guess we had some people that still needed to sell some shares here. And then it sold back off. I think these were the guys that were selling. And then now we're trying to make this big push back up. So, I've got a decent position on that could go up. That if we get up to 320 or better, I still make some decent profit on it. I did not want to take profit here. I really wanted to take it a little bit later. But you have to do what the price action tells you to do. There's no guarantee that this is going to go anywhere. So you had to take profit when you had it. And that's what I did. So that was CRWD. Meta was the first trade out of the gate, and it was terrible. I bought the breakout, and of course it pulled all the way back and stopped me out. Eventually it did make the move, and it's still working its way up, but I can't withstand this choppiness. And this is the reason that this choppiness right here, right in through here, is the reason I got stopped out. But because I saw this choppiness early when I was looking at the futures, I made a decision today not to trade futures. And I made that decision because the way you have to trade it, especially when you're trading with Apex, there's no way you could withstand a pullback or a bounce or a move against you. You have to take profit. You have to do it quickly. And if the price action is really, really choppy, for me, that's a sign of, just having a bad day. So didn't want to do that. But this choppiness, you can see how big the candlesticks are. $3 it's just not comfortable. At least not for me. But then we got some decent trades on Tesla. The first trade here, now it did go against me, but it almost took me out. It came really close to taking me out on my max loss. But then it came back down, was able to get profit, a couple of targets, and here we not too long got stopped out. So it's been an okay day. Meta was not the way I wanted to start the day out, but with a couple trades on CRWD and a nice trade on Tesla, we're in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna be sitting around waiting for CRWD. I honestly and truly believe that this thing can keep going. Like I said, as long as we're technically in play, my stop is at break even, at the entry. But as long as we're in play, I'm gonna give this an opportunity to work. So that kind of wraps up my morning. And I hope I made you 2 or 3. I think it's about 3 guys. I've got 3 fans, but as a teacher, all you need is 1, and you're gonna go to work. So I'm good with that. But you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday morning.